Hello everyone, and welcome to my Shiranui deck profile for the standard format. With the recent release of the new strike deck sets, both Shiranui and Noir have been proclaimed as the two best decks and have shaped the meta around them, and with good reason. So today I will show you my version of the deck for the English side of the game, of course, and I will also discuss the reason for some card choices, both in the deck and others you can add for accessibility or budget reasons. Yeah, getting straight into it. The right deck. So we don't play the Genki Grade 2, we play Shodoji one. Why? Well, it's a straight up +2, it's very strong. Getting a free resource and a free body on board is always going to be good in a game of Vanguard. We have 30 stealth no reuse in the deck, which means that the odds of you not getting the full value is slim, and even though you might not get the full +2, getting the soul is still important and valuable in itself. And please do note that you cannot call if you only find one unit of each skill. You have to put it into soul, but it's still getting the soul itself is still very good, very strong. Okay, getting straight into the deck then. I have two copies of Oboro in the main deck, mostly for shining Mukuro, but also for just regular strides, and also you have two targets for your grade 1 fathers, so always nice to have. And also I play one of the regular Shiranui, accompanied by 4 of the Bluers, I think his name is. Why do I play 4 and 1? Well, I play this one because it keeps cards in hand when you ditch this for a grade 3, right? So it's not only for striding, but you can also be in the turn before, which lets you keep hand against a lot of matchups. Could ride up still if you feel like you have. If you have maybe 2 of these, you can still ride up, and if it's not like if it's not a bad situation to ride up and not play the grade 2 game, that extra drop could be very valuable. So I play 4 of these. I like that. It has worked very well for me. But you could also play more of the regular Shiranui if you want to up your stealth count even higher. But I feel like this has worked fine, and this is probably like the most optimal because of that extra drive you potentially might give. However, it's like there's some pros and cons to both of them. It's very difficult to assess which ones have the more weight to it. In my opinion, I feel like Blueberries is very, very good to have at 4. And then we have our 8 restanders or 8 main attackers, but also we have 4 of the Shodoji grade 2 support. Now, why do we play 4 of this? Well, because as we talked about, we play the grade 2 Shodoji in the right line. So this only works when we are on this, we are at grade 2. But this card adds us any stealth cards, any stat card from the top 5. Like any card that we want from those. So we can add an extra attacker, we can add a booster, we could add maybe some stride fighters, which is also a reason why you want we might want to up the numbers of Shiranui. So this card is good in that sense. It helps us with the grade 2 gaming. Because of that reason, we can add an attacker or a booster as well. This card also lets you add the perfect card, which is very solid. Then we play 4 turn, 3 Aukirigitsune, and then 4 Forktail. So Shiranui is a really good card. It's just a like on-call draw card. It can also bounce itself to hand, which can be nice for extra cultures to draw more cards. It can be nice to use as a fodder for perfect cards if you really would need that. It's just a very solid card. Basically one of like the main ancients of the deck, because you can draw lots of cards with this. 3 stride fighters helps us search our Oboro if we want to stride into Mukuro. Also just thinks the deck. And then we play 4 Folktail. So we don't have that grade 1 promo that Japan does, which kinda sucks for us because that one is very good. I felt like Forktail in itself is kind of a bad card in this deck. It's not really like a good card, but it's a lot better than other things we have. It's good because it's stealth in the name. That's I guess the main pro. It also lets us kind of like unbrick our deck a little bit when you play it. If you see more Forktails, if you see maybe you see a Tenrei. The best case scenario would be if you saw him, you can put them into soul and basically like filter a dead card in your deck. So in that case, Frogtail can be valuable. But the thing is, just it gives you a resource of a soul, but it's not nearly as impactful as the promo. But I feel like Frogtail is still the best we have in the English format, unfortunately. And then we also play 4 perfect cards. Well, 3 sub-perfect cards and 1 Elementaria. One Elementaria, well, it's a Luard and Shiranui heavy meta, so this is always going to be free, and also it's a must-have against Luard because of is it Drag Strider? I can't remember. Like basically like the second stride. This plays around that one. So Elementary is just, you must have Elementary. This is a card you cannot skip at all. There's no argument for, oh, I want to have 4 stealth PGs. No, you can't. If you want to straight up lose to Luard, and probably Shiranui as well because it's free, I mean, go ahead, but you have to play Elementaria. Then we have, of course, the over trigger. You don't play the red one or the blue one because this one's just broken. Restart Vanguard, like it's nothing to talk about. 4 heals. We play 8 crits. We do play the effect crit because soul is a scarce resource and it's very important to have that. And also this is the not controversial, but I would say like the interesting choice is I play 3 draw triggers. So my reason for draw triggers in this case is because of Forktail. Like, since we have to play Forktail, we don't have the promo, which means we don't have the cycle in that sense. Yes, getting that soul is nice, but this is just gonna be stuck on the field. This is gonna be dead after that, right? So, which means we lack the cycle or like the draw power in that sense, and therefore the draws can be good. The bad part about the draw triggers is that, yeah, they are just 10k shields, and checking them offensively is not as good as a front trigger, of course. But I feel like with the amount of pieces you need in hand, and also that Luard can great to game you out of there because they can just put up 25k columns for like no reason at all. is very strong, and therefore the draw triggers help in the grade 2 gaming as well. In that sense, you can obviously play fronts. I feel like, at least in theory, the draws should work better, but fronts are, I feel like, equally as good in this sense. Draw triggers or front triggers both are very good choices. Depends on a little bit of how you want to play and what your idea is. Okay, and lastly our stride. So for Monkey Tembu, basically our first stride, basically the stride we always want to go into, even if you have access to an Oboro, you might not want to go into Mukuro anyways, because of the fact that Mukuro costs soul, and this one flips another one, so getting the 5k extra can be actually very important. Yeah, just dominate and attack, right? Not really much to say there. And of course, for Mukuros, great card. Not as great in this meta, I would say, because there's a lot of decks that just try to play with 0 rear guards that not have field dependent. If you have enough soul, and like if you have good amount of soul, yeah, and you can straight into it, I would say this can be better than this, because you get the drive checks, you get the pressure from it. But it depends, like, the situation as well. Of course, you have to assess the situation. You have to assess the current game state, if it's worth it going into Muko, or if you have the resources and the soul in that case. Both are very strong. Some cards that you can add, if you would like to add, are, you could add the Regalis piece. We don't have a Regalis piece in the deck. Now before triple drive, this is like basically the only Regalis piece you can play. I would not recommend it. It's a 25k shield, so it's good, but problem with this, it costs soul, and soul is a very scarce resource, as mentioned earlier. I tried playing it with this one. It kind of helped me once, but then I noticed the soul was detrimental, and I thought this is not worth it. I just wanna kill my opponent before they kill me. So I felt like this wasn't good. You can if you really want, but I would not really recommend playing Evergreen. You can always play, if you don't have access to liveries, you could instead play more of the Shiranui Great Ace you get from Shadek, like the regular ones, and another Uber, just to add up the stealth counts. And also Shiranui can work as an attacker just for the power, if it's really necessary, which almost should never happen. If that happens, you're kind of in big trouble. Yeah, you don't get the draw when you ditch it for a grade 3, but it's still fine. It's, as I say, it's a stealth count, so it can be clutch in those cases. Yeah, just extra options, right? You can always add another grade 1 to maybe like to have quicker access to Oboro if you want to. Also, if you really feel like that extra grade 1 can be helpful, sure. As mentioned earlier, front triggers, you can play front triggers. But here comes like the really interesting choices that you can play. It's the effect heals. This really depends on your locals. It really depends on what you're expecting to play against. This one can be better against Reward if you're scared of Drag Strider. I'm pretty sure it's Drag Strider. But yeah, can be very helpful against that. This is obviously good against the mirror match, but also against like things like Bastion. So this is, you can play this. It all depends on your locals and on your meta, if you have access to them, and if you feel like they are more needed than their regular heals. Next card you can play is the Carbuncle. Like, this is a cycle, so you can, since you Soul Blast your, you usually Soul Blast your right line, right? So you have, like, it's a free card. It doesn't disrupt your soul in any way. It does cycle you a card. It is a 20k shield. But I feel like you just want to kill. Also, it's not a stealth in the name, so it technically is another break in the deck. But I would rather play this than Evergreen. If you decide on playing, like, if you want to play one of these, I would say you play this over this, the Carbuncle, because the Carbuncle is doesn't hurt your soul. It doesn't disrupt your soul in any way, and also can cycle you that card if you, I don't know, in a top deck position. Like, it probably won't happen, right? But you have that slim chance. And lastly, the Colin, this one, is an on-place Sorcerer's one. If you don't have access to 4K because of some budget reasons or some accessibility reasons, then this is a fine substitute. Problem with this is you can soul charge triggers, right? Which is not good, and also Folktale gets you it gives you the option of, okay, I want to put in something that's a brick or something. This can be detrimental in that case. However, the pros of this is that it is a grade 2. It can be a 30k on its own, which can be very nice in a grade 2 format. If you place it, you have a booster behind it. It's a 21k column. It's good numbers. But you also kind of need to guard with him, or like intercept with him. If you, like, when you go into your stride, you don't want to overcall, because if you overcall, you minus yourself, which in that sense is bad. But this is a very fine substitute. You could, if you feel like you want to create ones instead for extra boosters, you could play the one from the stride deck set. The problem with the con with him is that it's a once per turn generation break, one soul charge one, which is also a random soul charge. However, the pro is that it's a grade 1, so you can aggro early with it, and it gets power, which 14 does not. So this can actually be a pretty solid booster. This can become a 13 or 18k attack. It can be a huge attacker with Mukuro as well. But I feel like it's too inconsistent, which is why I'd rather play this over this. But it's a fine substitute if you don't have 4K. So these are the options, the substitute options you can put in if you feel like you need to. So they can vary depending on how you want to build it, or access to different cards. But yeah, that's it. That's the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell, everything like that, all the classic YouTube stuff. Also, please let me know down in the comments on if you disagree with some card choices, and what were your thoughts on how to optimize the build. I'm always open to hear other thoughts, other opinions. So yeah, just let me know, and thank you for watching.